This is your girl, Michelle.
Gosh, I'm obviously too excited. But yes, this is Mariah.
Melanin Voices, coming to you all the way from New York City, and Mariah's in Denver, Colorado. And we partnered together to bring you guys this wonderful podcast that brings millennial voices to the stage. Mariah, do you want to talk about why we did the podcast, or what made you want to do the podcast with me?
Well, yeah, we're just trying to give millennials a voice because, as Michelle will state, in society, well, not in society, but on social media, it's very hard to be yourself and to vent because things are taken personally. Michelle will get more into that later, but for the most part, we just wanted to give voices to millennials and just get their viewpoints onto an actual feed that allow them to be in a safe space. That's what we wanted to allow for millennials, is a safe space where they can talk, where they can vent, where they can begin a conversation and grow from there. And I decided to do this with Michelle. Well, she decided to do this with me, and I decided to take her up on the offer because I just felt like we had a lot to bring to the table together. So I'm super excited about starting this. So yeah.
Yeah, me too. So our podcast, Melanin Voices, is really for everyone's voice. So we're going to definitely be asking for all of our friends, all of our families, anyone who really wants to hear about the things that we tackle and the ideas that we discuss. We really want to hear your voices. So all of your comments, all of your suggestions is definitely be something that we talk about during our podcast, because it is all about kind of sharing our own opinions, and then as well as helping each other and being a team to hopefully motivate and encourage one another to be better and be successful in today's society, because we all know it's rough for sure. Right, how was your day? Actually, how was work?
Girl, no. We're not gonna talk. Okay. On the way coming home from work, it literally takes me about 30 minutes to get to work in the morning and an hour to get home from work because my job is 20 miles away. So I prepare for that. I'm like, okay, it's going to take me an hour. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll get home around 6. I can wind down. I can get my notes together for the first start of our podcast. No. It took me 2 hours to get home, Michelle. 2 hours. Literally, I had to pee. I had to get gas. I ran out of gas on the highway. It was literally the worst. Like, literally, all the odds were against me. But I made it home at 7, hurried up, got my notes together, and just pulled through because literally, all the odds were against me for sure. So that was how my day went. That's how my night went. But work was decent, I suppose.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I know once I moved, I know a whole bunch of people moved to Denver. So I heard the traffic just got like way crazier in the last 2 years. So that's crazy.
Oh, it's
that's
terrible.
Ridiculous. And my day was just regular. Actually, an hour commute every day is normal to me because I actually take the subway to work every single day. And I live in downtown Manhattan on Wall Street, so I can't drive at all. So taking the train is always entertainment because I see some of the craziest things on the train. Today, a woman was preaching on the train, talking about how she just got out of juvie and she was trying to help her and her kids. She wanted some money to help kids who have parents that are in the system, and she got 8 kids, and she just wanted to pray over everyone, and she didn't have nothing in her pocket but a thing of lint. So she was just going him. But you know what? She touched someone because the girl who was sitting next to me said, "You gonna make me tear up." I was like, dang, she's really that deep, huh? She's really that deep. She's making you tear up. So I'm over here like putting my head down like, I just had a long day. Please don't talk to me. I just didn't have time for it. I was just over the day because it takes me forever to get home. So that was just another train chronicles, because I will definitely share more because there's always something going on the way to work or coming home. It's crazy.
You have to share more next time for sure. I didn't even know all that. Because you just had your birthday. So how was your birthday?
It was good. I'm 25 now. I feel like I'm at my peak. So I feel like the odds are I just feel like I have so much that I want to accomplish. And 25 is like the point where it's like, you better get it done or you're going to be turned around the next day and you're going to be 30. So I was like, let me just get on my toes and get the things I want to get done. But other than that, Jeff took me to dinner, to this like surprise little dinner spot, and you could like see the city and the water. So I was like, it was like nice music. I was like, okay, this is cute. Even though I don't like surprises, but whatever. It was cute. It was cute. And my parents came to New York City, which was nice. They had never been here before, so it was their first time. So it was crazy watching them like walk around in the stress of them walking like New York City. So that was fun. At least I got to see that part. So that was a nice little birthday that I had. I'm still going to try to celebrate with some friends in New York City. So I'm going to plan something with them, which is nice because I'm finally getting some friends, which took me over a year to like get some friends I can hang out with, which was hard. Thanks for asking.
Of course. Like, moving to a new city though, like just finding friends and just vibing with people is probably super hard.
It was so hard. And it could be very depressing just because I had so many friends in Denver. So Mariah, talk about our hot topic today because people are excited to hear about what we're talking about.
Well, everyone, we want to talk about infidelity, but Michelle found like these statistics about how infidelity actually originally wasn't even tied to marriage. It was actually tied to something completely different. So
it was. So I have this cool quote that it came up with. When it comes to relationships, infidelity is a fear that nearly everyone has and a monster that nearly everyone is forced to face. And that's scary, especially with someone being in a relationship. I'm like, so you telling me I'm going to have to face infidelity one day? That's crazy. But from a religious standpoint, infidelity actually is very religious. And it stemmed from being unfaithful. So actually the word came from a religious perspective, which is kind of, I guess that's normal. What do you think, Mariah?
Yeah, that makes sense to me when you sent that over. I never knew that, obviously, but when you sent it over, I'm like, I can see why that is tied to religion, due for a number of reasons. So that kind of makes sense to me, because obviously we're tying it to marriage, or even not even marriage, just relationships in general. Any intimate relationship we're tying it to. But I guess when you tied to religion, it made sense. But yeah, our hot topic, everyone, is if you haven't seen the show Insecure, I'm so sorry, because pretty much every show that we're going to do is going to be related to Insecure. But on the show Insecure, Issa and Lawrence, Issa being the main character and Lawrence being her boyfriend of, was it 5 or 7 years? It was a long time they've been together. I'm not sure, but I know it was about 5 or more years that they've been together. And anyway, she cheated on him with a past boyfriend, and he found out, obviously, and everyone was very upset with her for cheating on him, because he was a great guy, and they just, pretty much condemned her for that. And so our questions on it were, do you believe it's more accepted on either end? Like, do you believe men are more accepted to cheat or versus women, and why that was? Personally, I think that in our society, we definitely we definitely allow men to cheat more than women. I wouldn't say allow, but we condone men cheating more than we would a woman cheating, just because, well, this is how I feel. I just feel as though the reason for that is because women are seen as the ones to, make the family better, or, take the good with the bad, just because we need to find a good man. And if he cheats, all men cheat, and just that whole stigma about cheating and how women should not do it, but it's okay if a man does it. You have to just kind of take those punches with the relationship. And I think that's unfair, actually.
It is unfair. Have you ever got cheated on, Mariah?
Oh, girl. Yes, I have got cheated on, actually, by somebody I was very in love with, and it definitely crushed me, because we weren't just boyfriend and girlfriend. We were like, he was my best friend. Like, we talked all the time. Like, I knew his family, his friends. He was my best friend. So when I found out about that, I feel as a woman, you kind of question, like, what could I have done better, right? Or like, what made him do that? Yeah, it's not fair, because the end results are just kind of crushing.
Did you take him back? once he cheated, because I did.
Ooh,
Because
girl.
when I got cheated on, I know for sure that I, like you said, we look at ourselves as women, right? And say, what did we do wrong? We point at ourselves and say, what could I have done better, right? And we end up taking the dude back. And that's what I did. I gave him a second chance, right? And then, of course, what happens? Cheats on me again, right? And then it becomes a chronic thing where he's cheating and I'm getting used to it, and then I'm adjusting to his manliness, right? And it changed. Actually, when I got cheated on, it changed at a young age. I believe it came about in the wrong way, where I turned myself into a person that I wasn't, and I turned into him, if that makes sense. I turned into the bad person. I figured, if all men were going to cheat, right? Then why do I need to stay faithful? And that's exactly what I didn't do.
Right.
Stay faithful after that. It was just come and go. You know what I'm saying? Which is bad, because infidelity can definitely have a bad impact on women, right? And it did have an impact on myself personally.
Right. Absolutely. Just because I just feel, when you're young, people give you that pass. Well, more so men, they give men that pass of, how would you expect a young man to stay faithful to you anyway? Like, there's so many women out there, and it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of men out there, so what are you really saying? Like, just because there's a lot of women, you think that it's okay for a man just to go out and roam? And I just feel as though if you're gonna cheat and you know that you don't want to be with somebody committed to somebody all your life, how about you be 100% honest with them and yourself, and let them know of that, and go about your way and do your thing until you know that you're ready to settle down. Because I feel hurt. I don't even care that you're messing with multiple women, because if you want to hurt my self-esteem, that's cool. But like, don't do that, because you're about to put me at risk for diseases. That's one. You putting my life at risk. I don't condone that, because basically that's a huge FU to me, because you think my health's not important for you to take into consideration, basically, because
Right.
anything can happen. Obviously condoms are not 100% preventable of a disease and all that stuff. So I don't know what she has. I don't know what you have now. And so for you to just bring that to me, it kind of just shows your respect level towards me, like how you didn't have any respect for me at all. So
Right. So
basically,
like, going back to like what you were saying about Issa and Lawrence. So if you've never seen the show Insecure, Issa cheated on Lawrence in the show, right? But why okay, so you know how we talk about, and I know you talked about it in your Snapchat, which we're going to talk about later, but we have this women have this double standard, right? So if we cheat,
right,
it's the end of the world, right? We a hoe, we a slut, this, that, and the third. If dudes cheat, we're like, oh, we'll take them back. So in Issa's perspective, from when I was watching it, is that she didn't cheat on Lawrence because she was unhappy, but she was more so, he was letting himself go, right? So you see another dude that comes in the picture and kind of does that 80-20. You know the 80-20 rule? Because I believe in it. So
yes,
80-20
I do.
is when, that person has 80% of what you need, but that 20% they lack. Because I believe that you're never going to get 100% of someone. You're never going to love 100% of that person. So I believe that at that down point of Lawrence, right? Lawrence was not giving that extra percent that Issa needed at that point. So her cheating it was more, I feel like it was more psychological, right? I feel like she was feeling like she wasn't, or like her man wasn't stepping up like what he was supposed to be doing. So another man did, and she ended up slipping up, which honestly, I don't blame her for that. What I do blame is Lawrence kind of stringing her along at the end and saying, we need to talk and all that stuff, and then ends up going to go smash the bank teller, which I
Right.
feel like, what's the point of doing all that, right? He just did extra stuff, which was unnecessary.
So unnecessary. So unnecessary. Just because he knew how much she loved him. And honestly, I think that Issa did one key thing that many men don't do. And I don't want to say all men because this is just my experience. But many men, when they, that I've experienced, have, when they cheat, they don't automatically cut ties with the person they cheated with. And Issa was trying her best to cut ties. Like, she told him, when she seen him in person, like, hey, you know, this is not what I want. I want him. I'm sorry, you were a mistake. I don't want to do that ever again. And this is what I want to do. Like, this is who I want to be with. And you kind of have to respect that. She made it known to him. I just feel as though when it's the other end, it's never like that. And I feel like she's making a conscious effort to say, hey, I messed up. What we did was a mistake. It was wrong. And I'm not going to do that again and put my relationship in jeopardy. So should she have done that before she even did that? Sure, absolutely. But once she found out about that, how it was going to affect her relationship, she cut ties immediately. So, yeah.
Right. Infidelity is a scary thing. I really do think it is, because it's hard. It's just hard in general. So I put this question on Twitter and nobody responded. But anyways, I put this question on Twitter and said, is it natural for one human being to be with one person forever? And I stated that question because we idolize relationships in America, right? We idolize marriage, we idolize relationships, love, forever lasting. We've been watching fairy tales since, before we could talk, right?
Right.
And it's been something that's idolized, but is it actually natural? Right, Mariah? Is it a natural thing for one human being to really be with another person for the rest of their life? And I take this into consideration when we look at like animal habitats, right? Like we humans have animal instincts. And if we look at how animals are with each other, they don't have relationships, right? They have these partners that they maybe breed with, and then they let go, right? And they're on to the next animal, right? So why do you think that we idolize so much of this? You have to be with one person forever, right? And maybe if we didn't idolize relationships in such a huge aspect, maybe infidelity wouldn't be a big deal. What do you think?
I definitely think it stems from the main religion, which is Christianity, and how that plays a role in, just being Adam and Eve, and that was it, So that definitely plays a key role. And I think that is, I think it's possible to be in a relationship with just one person, because I feel as though people grow and they become totally different people over the course of time. But I have seen polygamy work for some people. Like, I have seen that actually happen, and it has worked. But the problem with that is many people want to be polygamous after they've already, haven't stated that to their partner. And so now they want their partner to conform to their ideas, when it's like, well, you never let me know this idea. And if you would have let me know this idea, I could have let you know beforehand that I'm not with the idea. So I do feel as though if we just all was just honest with one another about what we truly wanted, whether it be polygamy or monogamy from the get-go, then we could weed out who is the right fit for us and the relationships that we want.
That's true. But at the same time, okay, let's say you meet someone, right? And he may seem like he's the right one, or she may seem like she's the right one. And you spend some time with each other. You go on a few dates. You may have sex, whatever the case may be. And then maybe you're in a relationship for a year or 2 years, right? Are you really growing when you're just being with that one person? Because you mentioned growing together, but in what aspect are you growing when you're unable to communicate with another individual when you're in a relationship? Like, your boyfriend can't have girls that are friends, right? Or getting to know someone else just getting to know someone else in general. What do you think?
I guess as far as growing, I kind of mean individually. Like, say for instance, you're mature now as you are, right? At 25. But at 40,
Mm.
you're going to be a completely different person. You're going to be you're going to look back at 25 and be like, I can't believe that I thought that way, I felt that way, because I don't even feel or think that way as it is. And so that you've changed like that, you can only expect for your partner to change, and just so that you both changing automatically changes the dynamic of relationship automatically. Um, but
Right.
I see what you're saying though, as far as if you don't have those other relationships, how can you expect to grow fully if you don't have a kind of, I guess, a sense of everything else that there is to experience? But it's possible to
Uh
grow.
huh.
I guess it requires, I guess, effort from both ends on kind of the direction that you want to grow. Do you want to grow fully into the direction of getting to know one another and growing with one another, or you're like, okay, well, we grew to this extent, so I don't feel like that we can reach another limit. Like, this is the limit. It kind of just depends on if you want to extend that limit that you all have grown.
Right. I think that's the scariest thing, honestly. Going into a relationship, right? And then when you let your guards down and you let your guards down with this person, you put all your eggs in one basket. And it can be kind of scary to even think about the person, stepping out of the relationship. Even if they're even if they're happy, right? So this some of the statistics. I'll talk about some of the statistics I found, which was crazy, which was on statisticbrain.com about the statistics of infidelity with men and women, and some of the craziest ones were the percent of men who admit to committing infidelity in a relationship they've had was 57%. And percentage of women who admit to committing infidelity in a relationship they have was 54%. So I know we talk a lot, and we're women, of course, so we're of course on the woman's side, but we're not too far behind the 54 to 57% of people who step out of a relationship, which really came to a surprise for me because I find myself to be a very loyal person, but you never know what happens when you've been with someone for such a long period of time, and you may step out on the relationship, which is crazy, right? And another one was percentage of men and women who admit infidelity on. Hold up, this one. The percentage of men and women who admit to infidelity with a brother-in-law or a sister-in-law was 17%. Is that weird or what?
That is
The fact that you
insane to
can
me. What?
people are out here, people are out here cheating on each other with they own brother and sister-in-law. Like that is crazy. You just never know. You never know. And then there was a percentage of women who said they would have an affair if they knew they would never get caught, was 68%. That was over the
Whoa.
54% who had already committed infidelity. So if people knew they couldn't get caught, right, Mariah, they would cheat or they would step out of their relationship. And majority of it is not because they're unhappy. It's because of the different things that we need to love, right? And you know that paper, the research I sent you about the three primary brain systems related to love that humans
Yeah.
need was the sex drive, right? So we need to have sex. We need that. That's something that we need. The romantic love, when we need, a partnership with, we need to feel like people love us. And then the partner attachment, which involves just being with someone and remaining together until a child is born, right? We need those three things that are related to love. But it's crazy because there are different types of infidelity. And when we think of infidelity, I know I thought of it's just someone being unhappy in their relationship and they want to step out. What did you think when you heard infidelity? Because that's what I think when I first heard
That's
it was
exactly what I
just
thought.
just cheating, right?
Yeah,
And not being happy
absolutely.
in your relationship.
Right. That's
But
what I
it's
thought. I think
definitely not.
I
It's
thought it was
definitely not the
sexually at
case.
first.
Yeah, when it's just sexual, when it could be sexual and romantic, right? And I feel like romantic is one of the big reasons why women cheat.
True.
I don't
True.
think sexual is our thing, but I think it's another man coming in and maybe your man hasn't told you how beautiful you are in a year or 2 years, right? And then your coworker comes and tells you how beautiful you are and all this stuff. You may cling to that just because that's something that we need. That's that love, the love system, brain system that we need as humans. So I do think it's hard to juggle that with being with just one person. And I'm not saying that you can I'm not saying that being with one person is a bad thing. I was just when I was looking at this research, I was just really surprised about the biological aspect of love, and then I was questioning, is it possible for one person to give you all of that?
Right. Yeah. It's a
Right?
question that I'm sure everybody has. That's probably why many people do step out. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be a forever type thing because I don't know. I love them, I care about them, but can I be with them forever? Do I see myself with them forever? That's a scary. I guess that's a scary thought to have, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know what to I really don't know what to take of it. And this is crazy. So fun fact, everybody who's listening, and I'm not trying to stand up for men, but I do like to play devil's advocate here. But there was this research that said men have a chromosome that connects them to being infidel or whatever, to cheating. Okay? So there's this chromosome which we're going to put on our social media site so you guys can go and look. So maybe next time when you're with your significant other, right, and you meet someone that you really like, you might have to ask him what his chromosome is to see if he's going to cheat on you. Because I was like, this is crazy. So the research found was it's genetic, right? So it's passed down from one parent to one human to another. And the research found was 334 allele, so that's ALLELE, seem to have a negative association with men's relationship with their spouses. Mariah, can you tell me what I was talking about in those bullets? Because it's crazy when we know that maybe some of the men that we're dating or some of the men that cheated on us may have this chromosome, right? That doesn't connect them with their spouse,
Of course, yeah. So
right?
basically, the bullet points were stating that men who have this chromosome are more so going to have a marital crisis due to having the chromosome. And that's that's scary. I kind of want to check whoever I talk to now and see if that's the chromosome. But anyways, um, they score lesser on questionnaires measuring marital satisfaction. So honestly, I think it's kind of connected to one another. Basically, they're having a marital crisis due to them being less satisfied in their marriage because it's stating that they scored lower on questionnaires measuring marital satisfaction, and they're also cheating in their marriage. So I guess those are kind of tied together.
Yes, it's crazy. So if your man or your significant other carry this gene, it could be one part. It comes in two parts. You can have one chromosome of allele, or you can have two chromosomes of allele, which really puts you at your man for real stepping out on you. He doesn't show those romantic love, that sex drive. I mean, he may say show the sex drive, but he doesn't show that attachment that women need. And guess where this chromosome is located? It's called the vasopressin. The vasopressin is a hormone that's located by the kidneys and increases blood pressures by your kidneys. So I don't know if you ever heard the concept of
Yes.
men can't control hard dick, right? You heard that before. So I heard this concept before where men can control her dick, and that could be a real thing. I thought it was like some dude who was just making some stuff up, but it could be a real
Yeah, it
thing, which is
could.
could be really
It could be
scary.
extremely scary. I mean, do you even feel as though after relationships, when someone cheats in a relationship, that it can be mended?
I guess it depends on the circumstances. If you know, okay, so if you're an adult, right, and you know as a woman or as a man that you haven't been doing your duties, right, maybe keeping yourself up, maybe you've been depressed, right, and your partner steps out on you, can you be mad at them? Really?
Lawrence was just kidding.
I don't know if I would be. Okay, goodness, like Lawrence really should have said, "I understand, right? I wasn't getting no haircut. I wasn't giving you no butt. I was sitting on the couch, and I didn't even tell you how sexy
For your
you look every day, or
birthday.
even try." So he should have took that. Okay, and he should just took that and said, "I understand. I wasn't doing my job as your man. I was slacking on my job, so of course you gonna go find somebody else who can take care of them responsibilities." Because I look at relationship like a job. People hate when I say that, but when you get into a relationship or you get into a marriage, it's a job. You have these qualities, right? You have these descriptions. This is the stuff you bring to the table. If you come to me with this nice cover letter and this wonderful resume, right, and then you get into the job and you don't do half of the stuff that you like I thought you were gonna do, you gonna get fired, right? Or I'm a cheat because you didn't say what you were gonna do, right? You basically lied to me, so I have every right to
Or
step
find
out
better work.
of the
Find better
relationship.
employment.
What you think? Okay, find someone who's gonna do the
Right.
work, right?
I think that's true. I
What you think?
think what Issa should have done, though, well, she said it in a very harsh way, but I feel like what she should have done beforehand is communicate that with him, like, hey, babe, it was my birthday, dude, and the one day out the year I need you to step up and actually show you care about me, you didn't do, and I'm gonna need you to get off the couch, and I understand it's not a job in your field, but I'm gonna need you to get a job and stop collecting unemployment so we can grow as a team. And then if he didn't shape up, then he had to ship out. I think that should have been communicated, but like you said, it's definitely, relationships are a job, and he definitely wasn't putting in his time at the job that he was at. So, you can't fault somebody for feeling a certain way that you've
Right,
made them feel. Definitely can't.
right.
Um,
So what about the millennial perspective? Like what have we seen from our generation nowadays? I feel like we've seen people on to the next more than
Girl, they.
anything. What do you think? Do you see people getting in relationships
I
or people not
I feel like
settling
I think
down?
people get into relationships very fast due to this. I don't even know what to call it. I'm gonna just make up a word due to this social oh my god stigma or goals stigma. So everybody sees everybody in a relationship and they're like goals, or they see their high point and they're like goals, and they see these girls like getting taken out and wine and dine, and they're seeing all these things that a man is doing for their girlfriend. They're like, I need me a man to do that. Not even noticing that notice like what behind goes behind closed doors, what that girl's dealing with, or even not even dealing with, but just their relationship woes and what they're going through behind closed doors. No one's gonna show you, they had to struggle extra hard this month to pay the rent, or they had to go back and forth with their in-laws just so they could come to the wedding, or you don't know what someone's doing, but we only see those highlights of people. So when we see that, we're like, okay, I need a relationship just like that, because that's goals, that's what I want to do, that's what I want to have. And that's why I feel like people are getting relationships so fast at this rate, and it's kind of scary because they're not taking time out for themselves to find out what they
Right.
truly want versus just the physical and the surface level things that they're seeing.
You're so right. And technology honestly doesn't make it better for us because we spend so much
Mm-hmm.
time as a generation on social media, and a lot of our what we see every day before we even brush our teeth in the morning, we are on that thing watching and looking and loving and liking, right? So I can definitely see how someone can take a picture, right, and think that it's perfect and not understand how many photos it took to get one perfect picture, right? And that's a good that's crazy that people are getting in relationships so quickly, but then they're not staying in them, are they?
Oh no, not that I've seen.
Or are they?
Not that I've seen. No,
Okay.
not that I've seen.
I feel like since I've been out the game, I don't even know.
Girl, no.
I don't even know what's going on.
No, girl, they have not. Just need you to know. Stay out the game forever. But yeah.
Stay out the
Speaking.
game. The grass ain't greener over
No,
there.
no, stay over there. It's fake grass. That's why it's so damn green. But yeah. Speaking of social media, I have my car conversations on Snapchat, and today I wanted to talk about infidelity since that's what me and Shell are talking about. And so I talked about kind of our top questions that we just talked about on the show just now. And the top questions that I had on infidelity that I wanted to discuss with everyone is, one, do you think it's more acceptable for men or women to cheat, and why that is? And I got some responses for some people. So a guy actually let me know what he thought. His name is Ashi Small, and his Snapchat handle is Ashi S. And so he said that he feels as though it's not acceptable for either men or women to cheat, but but women accept men cheating because the way the world portrays the idea of cheating, and that you should take a man because that's just what they do. That's why he feels women cheat. I mean, that's why he feels women are accepting of men cheating, is because he feels as though the idea is portrayed that we should just accept a man because that's what they do. And then I had a woman respond. Angel Smith is her name. And Angel was stating that she thinks that society has tried to place the responsibility of keeping relationships and families together on women. So we are taught to stay and tough it out and keep the family together, but that responsibility rarely falls on men. So it's acceptable for them to cheat versus women. Yeah. And my second question was answered by them as well, but the second one was, could you stay with someone who's cheated on you? And a woman answered that. Her name is Musu. Moments with Musu is her name on Snapchat. And she said that she doesn't think that she could stay with a man who's cheated on her. And a man answered that and said he absolutely could not stay with the woman who cheated on him. And his name is Stony on Snapchat. Stony with the money letter S. But yeah, so that was that. So no, and they think that, well, they all have the same consensus. Is basically the third question was, do they think it could be mended? And they basically said that they think it could be worked out if the couple wants it to be worked out. Mutual understanding of, do they want the relationship to continue and make a conscious effort to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was weird because the men both said that they wouldn't take a woman back. So their perspective is kind of like, yeah, it could work out, but for somebody else, because not for me, because I'm not taking nobody back to cheat on me. So what do you think about that? Because I find it interesting what Angel said. She's basically, so Angel sent me over this Instagram quote that she liked and kind of went based off of, and it was called Black Woman Confessions, and it's on Instagram. And on the quote it says, I feel like there's this fixation on keeping black families together no matter what, and I personally find it irritating. Black women are encouraged to keep their black men and constantly uplift them, etc. I find this to be utter bullshit. Black families are like any other family. If a man is treating the woman like shit, get the fuck out of here. There's this stupid ideology that I've been seeing and hearing a lot about a black woman having to keep black families going regardless of their treatment.
That's deep. Shout out to Angel. That is super deep. And when what she said really reminded me or took me back into slavery days, right? When black women had no other choice but to be strong, right? Black women got raped. Black women had to take care of the babies, right? and Black women were just overall mistreated, and they had to watch their husbands die, get beaten. So I think what happens is in the Black family is that our Black women for generations have had no choice but to be strong. And I think it's sad, right? Because even if we are being mistreated, we do feel this obligation to keep the family strong, and that's probably because grandma did that, and my mom, and grandma taught my mom to be strong, and there was no other option but we got to stay strong in this family to keep this family together. And it's crazy. I just feel like when you think about just the trauma that Black people have been through and how it affects our families, it comes to the forefront when we see things that happen with men mistreating their families or stepping out of their relationships and things like that, and not understanding how much the Black woman puts on her back, right, to take care of the family and keep it strong. So shout out to Angel for real for that quote, because that opens a door for a whole nother topic.
For sure. Right? Thank you, Angel.
Thanks. Got some good people. At Melanin Voices, we really want everyone to have their voices. We know that Mariah and I, we have our topics and we have our opinions about infidelity or any other topics that we're going to discuss on our podcast, but we definitely want your thoughts on infidelity. And we want your thoughts about what you thought about this podcast. So we have several social media sites.
We have our Facebook. We have Melanin Voices. So that allows us to communicate with you guys better, just because Facebook doesn't have limited characteristics. You can type, which is nice. We have a Twitter, also at Melanin Voices, and we also have an email. You can email us at melaninvoices1@gmail.com if you ever want to get advice or vent and let us speak to you about certain topics. We would love to do that. That'd be great. We want to actually do a whole segment on just responding back to our email, so that'd be awesome. That's melaninvoices1@gmail.com. And yeah, and our actual website.
melaninvoices.com. That is our website. So you can definitely check out our website and comment in the comment section about all of our podcasts and comment on.
We have a Black Business of the Week too. We want to feature Black businesses and support Black businesses. So Michelle actually has one this week that she wants to let everyone know of too. So
yes, definitely. It's actually in Harlem. So it's called Harlem Coffee Company. It's by founder Mark Thompson. He is a Black owner over there that just opened. It's on 151 in Lenox Avenue in Harlem. So definitely stop by there if you are in the city to check out his shop, because it's really dope. And also check out the website, Harlem Coffee Co. Super dope coffee shop. So shout out to Mark for allowing us to shout him out on our podcast, and hopefully he'll tune in on Melanin Voices and maybe play us in his lounge.
Yay, that'd be awesome.
So you can also reach us on our own personal social media if you don't reach out to our Melanin Voices. I am mahogany_skin on Instagram. I am Michelle Rice on Facebook. And which other one? I think that's it. Those are the main ones that I'm majority on. And yeah, mahogany_. Oh, and Snapchat, soul_sister.
Like Sister Soldier.
With an H.
Love her.
Yes, that's my
mine is just, I'm a super simple. It's Mariah_amazing on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. And then Mariah Stewart on Facebook if you'd like to communicate with me on there as well. So yeah.
Right.
Hey.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Give us your comments and feedback, and we look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thanks so much. We love you.